आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. And on the nation's sharpest opinion, tonight I want to talk about a dossier that has been released by Pakistan. Now, why am I talking about a dossier that has been released by Pakistan? Am I giving space to the Pakistani point of view? Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm trying to say is that the truth inevitably comes out. And the fact is that we really hit Pakistan very hard this time. And that is a truth which cannot be hidden. Even if people try to hide it, they can't hide it for too long. And the fact is that Pakistan has had to accept before its own people, before the people of Pakistan, the Pakistan army has had to admit before its own people that yes, they were hit very badly by India, that they were hit repeatedly by India. And therefore, they have put out what I call is a panic document. Pakistan has panicked, and they have put out a panic document. And in that panic document of Pakistan, they have made many admissions. Admission one, that India struck many more targets that had been revealed. In fact, they give a whole list of places which have been hit hard, and they give a list of 8 more targets than revealed so far. What proof do you need when the enemy itself admits that India hit it very hard? जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं, भारत ने घर में घुसकर मारा, और जो maps है, the maps are showing in fact strikes on Peshawar, Sindh, Bahawalnagar. Ladies and gentlemen, Hyderabad in Pakistan, Chor, Attak. These are important targets. Attak, ladies and gentlemen, houses Pakistan's Kamra Air Base. So the Pakistanis are saying that we were hit in many places, many places by the Indian Air Force, by the Indian Army. And we were hit in Peshawar. Peshawar, ladies and gentlemen, is the headquarter of Pakistan's Northern Air Command. The Chor base, CHHOR, Kant, houses Pakistan's desert warfare troops with ground equipment that enables steadfast movement in extreme conditions. So what does this information that Pakistan is sharing prove? It shows that the Indian armed forces hit Pakistan even more than has been publicly mentioned so far. So we should be extremely proud about the fact that not only did we hit and hit hard, that we did precision strikes which are down to 1 square meter, but that we hit areas which even we did not know about. So our loitering munitions, our missiles, all hit with extreme precision. So I want to say this, viewers, that when Pakistan admits that it was beaten very hard, why is Rahul Gandhi trying to get the opposite picture? When Pakistan admits that our armed forces hit them hard where it hurts, why is Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party giving an impression that we were hit in turn? What is the agenda of the Congress party, the nation wants to know? What is in their mind? What is their plan? And what is their intention, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, enough said about the Congress party. It's insignificant, so I'll take away those pictures and go back to the moot point. And what is the moot point tonight? The moot point is that Pakistan has released a dossier, and it shows Indian strikes on very key areas like Peshawar, Attak, Bahawalnagar, Hyderabad, Jhang, and Chor. Viewers, nobody tipped off Pakistan. We hammered them hard. more than you knew so far? Let's debate.
अटैक हुआ है नूर खान बेस पे।
सेना का नुकसान करने की थी तैयारी, हमने उनसे सीने पर चढ़ कर दिखा दिया कि हमारे वीरों की कैसी है तैयारी। वाह वाह।
Operation Sindoor has been India's harshest response to Pakistan-sponsored cross-border terrorism and Pakistan's worst nightmare. 9 terror camps deep inside the territories of Pakistan and POK identified and struck. And now, a month later, Pakistan has unintentionally confessed to India's military superiority. A dossier made by Pakistan indicates wider damage inflicted on the terror state during Operation Sindoor. At least 7 more locations were hit. Peshawar, Gujarat in Pakistan, Bahawalnagar, Hyderabad in Pakistan, Jhang, Chor and Attock. Pakistan's official response highlighted damage to civilian infrastructure, but the dossier's details indicate that the Indian strikes were not limited to terror camps but also targeted deep military assets, including air bases and logistical hubs.
The dossier might have been made to push Pakistani propaganda, but it did not hit the Pakistanis that by doing so they were providing more evidence, more sabut of the large-scale destruction caused by Indian airstrikes. Taken together with earlier giveaways like the one in which Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif visited one air base but clearly skirted the runway which was hit by India, this is a clear case of Pakistan standing completely exposed yet again.
Islamabad has just admitted to India's airstrikes beyond the known bases. Their internal files could not be more solid of an evidence to prove India's strategic edge. And while their leaders continue to roll red carpets and make terrorists their blue-eyed men,
मेरा सैफुल्लाह कसूरी साहब की निस्बत प्रोफेसर सलाह साहब के साथ मेरी तल्लुकदारी किसी ऐसी बुनियाद की वजह से नहीं है। मेरा एक रिश्ता है हाफिज सईद साहब के साथ, मेरे वालिद मरहूम के साथ उनका बहुत गहरा तल्लुक था। मलिक रशीद साहब के साथ उनका भाइयों जैसा रिश्ता है। हमें इनके साथ इस मरकजी मुस्लिम लीग को हम अपनी दूसरी जमात समझते हैं और हम समझते हैं कि ये लोग पाकिस्तान की खिदमत करने वाले लोग हैं।
India is lifting the veil off Pakistan's propaganda machinery.
Officially, we know in 1965, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto declared a 1,000-year war against India when he addressed the United Nations Security Council. And probably Ziaul Haq gave form to this particular doctrine of 1,000 years war. And someone added this 1,000 cut into it. And similar kind of venom was fueled by General Asim Munir against India and Hindus. Speak just a few days or weeks before what happened in Pahalgam.
In Pakistan itself, the older commands of the terror machinery is being taken down. Abdul Aziz SR, a senior commander of Jaish-e-Mohammed, was found dead under mysterious circumstances in Bahawalpur in Pakistan, Punjab, the latest of many killings due to gang wars. From denials to dossiers, Pakistan has tried to bury the truth, but their own documents dug it up. As India flies with precision, Pakistan is scrambling with excuses. Operation Sindoor wasn't just a mission, it was a message. Loud, clear, and unforgettable.
And we have a fantastic panel today. And I want to start by saying one thing tonight on a lighter note. I'm told the IPL final is going on tonight, but I have record viewership. We had hundreds of thousands of people watch us, so it proves that more people...
I have never wished watching Virat Kohli in my life.
I'm telling you, I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's not a good game. Maybe it's not a good game. Maybe people are not enjoying. But large number of people were watching our last discussion on whether we hit the nuclear bases. And huge numbers are watching right now. So thank you, viewers, for your support. I'd like to welcome back General Bakshi, the wonderful Ambassador Deepak Vora, yes, and General Bishambar Dayal, all household names in the country. Tilak Deveshwar, fantastic, top-notch security voice. We have with us Lieutenant General PJS Pannu, sir. Let me introduce him. He served as Deputy Chief of the Integrated Defence Staff. Fantastic track record, overseeing tri-services coordination, especially in operations. So he had a lot of ground information. And Sheikh Hamir is there. Now you'll say Sheikh Hamir is a Congress leader. Why have I got him in this panel of generals? Because he is with the Congress party, and I'm going to put him in the dock a couple of times tonight, given the information coming from Pakistan. So, Sheikh, I'll give you a start, because after this they won't let you talk. So I'll tell you. You know, you guys have been saying, what did we lose? Why don't we share? We know countries with us. Our armies should declare how many jets we lost. Today I have a report, Sheikh, a very important report, a dossier from Pakistan which says that India struck not one, not two, not five, not six, not 8, but 22 sites, out of which 7 were never even disclosed so far. So Pakistan and Congress propaganda has gone wrong. Once again, Sheikh, your opening remarks. Maybe you just want to say sorry and move on.
Well, Arnab, you narrated something, and you are saying we must be sorry for what? We salute the bravery and precision of our Indian Army. And let me be clear. These are professional military actions, not political achievements of BJP. And what is actually happening, you are trying to politicize it. BJP MLA from Udhampur called our Indian Army as Nikkamme. Was there any action taken against that MLA? No.
Sheikh,
Congress has always stood by Indian Army.
Sheikh, no. Sheikh, no, I don't want to make it political. I'll come back to you. Now, I'll do the military analysis here with the generals first.
We have always believed in quiet strength, not this drama.
I asked General Dayal. General Dayal, Atak houses Pakistan's Kamra Air Base. Peshawar is the headquarters of the Pakistan Northern Air Command. And the Chor Cant houses their desert warfare troops, a lot of ground equipment. Why are the Pakistanis going public saying we were hit in so many places? Is that not unusual?
Arnab, actually, let's not say what Pakistanis are saying, and let's not say what Indian people wants to know or what Indian politics is talking.
Yeah.
Let's talk of what the armed forces have done. See, the armed forces of this country, everybody must know, are organized to defend this country from aggression, external aggression, and any internal threat.
True.
And also in Hindi, I'll say कि अगर दुश्मन सर उठाता है तो मुंह तोड़ जवाब देना है. दुश्मन ने सर उठाया, and we gave a मुंह तोड़ जवाब.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Now, for that, we do not believe what Pakistan says. We have an internal system, and you can ask the Air Force, you can ask the Army. There are other panelists here, General Pannu, etc., very experienced.
Yes.
We get a assessment of destruction, assessment of an objective.
Correct.
After that, we take. So whatever we have said, and in that it is not easy, not difficult or easy to count bodies or anything, but there is no doubt we hit him on the night of 7th. We hit all the designated terrorist camps, training camps, headquarters, and where they were residing. We killed large number of terrorists, and then on the night of 9/10, we played merry hell with their air effort, with their air bases, with their air from where the air support was coming. So we hit them very hard. We hit their air defense system. I'm of the opinion that by 10th morning, Pakistan had morally and physically, and Pakistan psychologically was on such a back foot that it has never been on that foot. And there was a shiver in the Pakistani camp. This much we are very clear. Now thereafter, it's a matter of time. And one thing I would like to put it, all those who are talking, we are a country, and I have one senior general and one who has worked as senior. What I'm saying is, in the army, have we disclosed what happened in 1971? Did Russia told you, anybody in the world, that how many of their aircrafts got shot down in that attack? We do not. These are confidential matters. How can we bring them to streets of this country or anywhere else? These are confidential war reports. Whatever happens, I don't even approve if my armed forces people or retired people making any statement on what we lost. We have lost nothing. What we have done is, whatever is there inside, that is for us to assess. We assessed in 71 war what are our weaknesses. Correct. We assessed in Kargil what are our systematic weaknesses. If there is any systematic weakness, I am quite positive the armed force will take up and remove it. But as far as Pakistan is concerned, he's on the back foot. We have to stop this, and we have to see that when can we hit him next. I am of the opinion that he still needs more punishment. This is my belief, that he needs more punishment. We should not be bothered about any other country.
The joke about Pakistan is that they're always wearing makeup because they put on a lot of concealers. They conceal things all the time. And therefore, I am surprised tonight. I am very surprised that tonight that a country which did not even admit Deepak Vora that Osama was their state guest is scoring a self-goal. They are saying, no, the Indians hit us in many places. The Indians hit us in Peshawar, Jang, Hyderabad, Sindh, Gujarat, Punjab, Bahawalnagar, Attak and Chor. Why are they saying it? Is it it's a self-goal, hai na? It's a self-goal. It's a self-goal.
Their public is seeing the destruction. No, they can't hide. You see, they can't hide because their public...
Didn't their public know that Kasav is a Pakistani?
They know. The Pakistani public knows everything. It is not like that.
No. Do you see this Kamra air base, which is situated in Attak? Shahbaz Sharif went there with Asif Munir to show normalcy. Now they are saying, no, the Indians hit us there. So I'm not understanding what is going on here. And would you like to hazard a guess, Deepak Vora, and then I'll throw it to General?
Yes, of course. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir.
Always a pleasure, always a delight and
absolutely,
honor.
Sir.
And to be with you and your unbelievable channel, and you yourself are more than unbelievable.
Sir.
By the way, you referred to the India ka Pakistan ko lafa, that IPL, is that it? That people are not going for that today. They prefer to be with you. And then, of course, you have the legends. You have General Vishambar, you have General Bakshi is over there, General Panu, who was with me in Sudan, and then, of course, Mr. Tilak Devesha, just about the finest mind in the world as far as strategic affairs is concerned. So let me put it to you very simply like this. You asked, is something going on there? Yes. And I'm now going to, if you give me a minute, quote from, people say it was Karl Marx, but actually a fellow called Georg Wilhelm Hegel, the great German philosopher and historian. He said, everything happens in history twice. The first time as tragedy, the second time as farce. No, so I'll tell you very quickly. The tragedy happens in 1999. A joker, senior Badmash Sharif, runs off to Washington and begs Billu Bhai Clinton, bachalo. Billu Bhai Clinton does what he has to. And so that was the tragedy.
Billu Bhai Clinton. Of all the things. Of all the things, General Bakshi. Today, Billu Bhai Clinton, my God. Yeah, I know. Somebody must send this to
And then what happens is that he gets kicked out by that General Mushrif Raf or whatever it is. So that was the first, that was the tragedy. So that was the senior Badmash who called himself Sharif. Now in 2025, that very thing is, according to Hegel, being repeated as farce. Because this buffoon goes off and says, my general called me in the morning when I was swimming, with whom he didn't say, or whatever, and said, what are your instructions? And I said, we are peace-loving, don't stop fighting. Sir, I'll tell you what is going to happen. The moment this Pinjadi Wali Munaria decides to kick out the junior Badmash Sharif, he's going to say, इसने मेरे को बोला था, नहीं तो मैं तो दिल्ली जाने वाला था. He stopped me, and therefore he has to go. This is going to be repeated within the next 4 weeks. I'm sticking my neck out by making a prediction, but it will be the farce that is being played out day in and day out in that country. They blame non-state actors, don't they, sir?
Yeah.
That's the term they use. And I want to ask all the bright people, isn't Apple Incorporated in India a non-state actor? Isn't Maruti a non-state actor? Aren't all the big players, aren't the NGOs...
into legal problem tonight.
Sir, aren't the NGOs non-state actors? Isn't civil society non-state actors? I mean, I'm state actor because I'm government and so are the general. What about the others? All the consultants, aren't they non-state actors? So let's not get into this, rubbish.
But still I'm not understanding here. You see, I'll go to General Bakshi and then to General Pannu. See, and of course to Tilak Deveshwar. No, I am saying Pakistan has just made Asif Munir a field marshal, which means this idiot is going to be in office for life. For life. For life.
Yes.
For life. Right?
Keep troubling you.
He is going, whether troubling, I think he'll trouble the Pakistanis more. But he's there for life. Now, that is a bad general. Every corps commander will want to resign before he takes the job because he'll have to report to Asif Munir. Why are they saying that we got hit? You made him a general and a field marshal, and now you're saying that 22 places got hit?
Because they want America and China to replace free of cost the weapons that were destroyed.
Absolutely.
And the air defense.
But they're admitting in the process that India entered 22 locations and hit our ground equipment, throttled it. I don't understand this. I mean,
it doesn't affect them.
It doesn't affect them.
Nothing affects them. You must understand the nation.
Of course, it must affect them.
The people.
So it must affect them.
No, it doesn't.
General Bakshi, what's going on in your view with this admission from Pakistan? And then I want to pull out that bite where the Pakistan Assembly Speaker is on stage with Hafiz Saeed. I'll run the whole long soundbite after that.
So we Punjabis are attacked all the time.
General Bakshi, what's going on, sir?
Arnab, this is interesting and a bit intriguing. You see, Pakistan generally does not admit to where all it has been hit and how hard it has been hit. It, sweeps it under the carpet and pretends to smile, and show sang-froid that we are smiling still. In fact, this time they were doing bhangra after the pause in operations was announced. I personally think that when the DGMOs briefed, the DGMO Air Ops briefed you on the airstrikes that were done and, the BrahMos air-launched cruise missiles that had been fired. I am not very sure if we had covered the scores of, drones that we had launched. We had launched a number of drones, Skystorm drones, Horops, and this thing, the Horops and the Israeli, radiation homing drones that went in for their radars were well covered, but a number of our smaller drones, which incidentally were guided by our NAVIC constellation of satellites, and it was said that they had reached up till Peshawar. That target I hadn't heard in the DGMO's briefing, but it was mentioned in the open media. So I think we need to put this entire sub-cheese together. A lot were fired by the army, and I think there are other agencies that also fired drones. But a number of our drone hits, loitering...
But why would Pakistan admit it? See, sir...
in their entirety...
No, but is there a...
That is why, because they were hit.
No, I know they were hit, but when have you... So how do we don't expect the Pakistanis to be an honest nation?
No.
General Bakshi, there's something unusual here. See, let me play the devil's advocate, General Pannu. We'll keep this wonderful screen on. General Pannu, the fact is an individual making an admission is different from an institution or a country making an admission. That is my point. Individual makes an admission. Imran Khan says that we have given a harbor to 40,000 trained terrorists, and he said that, that we have done that. Khwaja Asif says, we have been doing the dirty work for the US for 3 decades. That's an individual. Bilawal Bhutto saying that, I don't think it's a secret that we have a past. It's an individual. But here is a dossier, General Pannu, with locations. In fact, it's a huge self-goal. So was it, in your view, done without enough thought, or was it done with some other intent? Is there some other reason they are making this admission?
Arnab, it seems that we are considering Pakistan as a monolith, as one country. Pakistan actually is many Pakistans. It's not one Pakistan. There is a Pakistan Army as Pakistan. There is terrorist as Pakistan. There is terrorist, which are radical terrorists as Pakistan, because there are some non-state actors that you were talking about, freedom fighters in Baluchistan. There are fighters in the which are fighting for Afghanistan. All of them are fighting there. And there are people of Pakistan is another layer. But most important layer in Pakistan is a political layer, and nobody can see it, nobody can feel it, and yet they are present. They have nothing to do with Pakistan, yet they are there. So when you're saying that Pakistan is saying this, you don't know what Pakistan you're talking about. Are you talking about the army Pakistan, or a political Pakistan, or Awam Pakistan, or a terrorist Pakistan, or the freedom fighter Pakistan? Which Pakistan are we talking about? That is point one. Point two is that even within the military, there is not one military. If the operation was fought and the credit is given to some Air Force officers who've been talking about the achievements of the Pakistan Air Force, the promotion should have gone to the air chief. There is some air chief by the name of Mr. Babar. If the army has done nothing about anything and they have only lost everything and they've been smoldering, and behind the smoldering airfields and defenseless Pakistan army, why is the Pakistan army chief becoming the field marshal? Why is that the Air Force in Pakistan does not have their own air chief controlling the air operations if they did? So, I think we have to dissect everything slice by slice, and therefore the ISPR, the ISI, and the Chief of Pakistan Army are one layer, which are the core of Pakistan, and rest are all peripherals of Pakistan. As a result, what happens is that the number of layers, when they start speaking different languages at different time, you will find some truth, some half-truth, and some covered disinformation. All shades and complexions of information will flow out of Pakistan. As far as India is concerned, well, Indians did what professionally they should be doing. They had a limited mandate. They went and stuck those terror camps, and they announced that this is what we have done, and no more we are going to do, because we have done what we mandated to do after what happened in Pahalgam. No more, no less. After that, it was only the retaliation which came from some kind of Pakistan, because, there were drones which were toothless, there were drones which malfunctioned, there were drones which were imported, there were drones which were quickly assembled, all those being thrown at India, and then they realized that these drones are not doing much, and they started firing some missiles which were all knocked down by the Indian air defense system. I'm not going to go into equipment by equipment, which equipment did what to what. But the fact of the matter is that Pakistan's response was, from their side, more than adequate, but it was completely inadequate as far as India is concerned, because the defensive layer of India worked so beautifully. Now, it is only when they cross the red line of retaliating, I think that is where the Indian loaded arsenal of our professionals, how they were to do a job, they've done. And they have stuck all the target lists which we professionally keep. We are not going to keep saying that, fire has come from there and we will neutralize this. We have a target list, and these are strategies which are pre-fed. And therefore, the military will unleash by the design how the military is programmed to do with the equipment which are targeted. So these are pre-factored targets, which over a period of time, different type of Pakistan is making a noise, and the ISPR tries to cover it. And the ISI tries to feed into the ISPR, and they're trying to make a big in a disinformation campaign, so that only the chief, that is the Munir, gets a promotion, and then he moves around like a king in Pakistan. And that is where I think Imran Khan also said, why make him a field marshal, make him a king of Pakistan. And that is how the Pakistan is configured. So now how do we decipher what the Pakistan is doing? Because it is just a big jungle, and there are many animals making all sorts of noise. Which is the right animal that you will pick and analyze?
Sir, in that context, who is responsible for 22 targets getting hit? Who would one blame? Before I go to Tilak Deveshwar, I want to ask this maybe to you. Who is to blame? Now that you've gone public and you said 22 sites were hit, who is at fault?
Lies at the door.
Army, Navy, Air Force, who in Pakistan?
Air defense system
is under whom?
Under the air chief
of Pakistan.
They will agree with me that our air defense system, our army air defense system is limited to protecting army elements when they are in battle.
No, if 22 areas have been hit
It is
in
the air
Pakistan,
chief.
the Pakistan air chief has to take
Is to be
responsibility.
directly blamed.
So this dossier, in that sense, exposes the Pakistan air chief.
It exposes the Pakistan air chief, it exposes the Pakistan, and why we are...
It helps Asim Munir in his internal dynamics.
In their internal dynamics, the army chief has much more say than the air chief. But professionally, it is the air chief's job. So basically, their air defense system has failed. Basically, their air effort has failed to take off at the right time and strike. I mean, if there was a air chief worthwhile, he would go and say, if I'm struck on the 10th morning, before the world comes to know, he would have struck back. No. He would have lost more aircraft, but he would have certainly made an attempt.
They went panicking to America instead.
They have panicked. Firstly, Arnab, we must understand that this whole game Pakistan is doing why?
Sir.
See, our delegations are going to different capitals, and I saw one in Moscow also, whatever, you know what I'm saying is, they are public. There is everything being discussed openly. Pakistan has also launched its counteroffensive diplomatically. They do not go public. Their delegation is sitting in Moscow. Their delegation sitting in, and I only take this from ambassadors, this thing, that they probably are trying to project that, look, we didn't do this terrorist act. It is all homegrown. We are being blamed. And look how much damage we have been done to our country. Look how much we have been destroyed. Look. So, and they will never tell you, the Russians will never tell you. They are trying to win your countries, which are your friendly countries, which stand by you in all crises. They are trying to even poison their know that we have been hit badly, that our infrastructure has been destroyed, that we have been completely depleted. They are now creating a story because everybody knows that they went to the Americans. Everybody knows that America, on their behalf, the vice president must have rung up our prime minister. All these things are known. We also know that DGMO rung up our DGMO. The world knows it. So how do you build a story where you again sympathize? And you will be surprised. You see, they create stories and they succeed in the global environment to carry on.
Well, maybe they should release a dossier on who is killing their beloved terrorists. The Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists.
They will make
Maulana Abdul Aziz.
These statements will come from A, B, C, D, half-hazard, jumbled. Nobody is responsible.
But I want to show a video, and then General Bakshi, just coming back to you. But before that, to Tilak Deveshwar. Tilakji, I want to show a video, please. And this video is of, I think, Malik Mohammed, the Punjab Assembly Speaker. And he's talking on a stage that I have an old relationship with Hafiz Saeed. I love Hafiz Saeed, Hafiz Saeed, Hafiz Saeed, Hafiz Saeed. He's a PMLN politician. It is totally in the open. I'm seeing this trend over the last few days, Tilak Deveshwar, that Hafiz Saeed, Jaish-e-Mohammed relationship with local politicians is becoming more and more open, more and more political rallies. And I want to play this, and then I'll ask you how you view this. Full frame, please. Can you play this with the translation?
तल्लुक मेरा सैफुल्लाह कसूरी साहब के निस्बत प्रोफेसर सलाह साहब के साथ मेरी तल्लुकदारी किसी ऐसी बुनियाद की वजह से नहीं है। मेरा एक रिश्ता है हाफिज सईद साहब के साथ, मेरे वालिद मरहूम के साथ उनका बहुत गहरा तल्लुक था। मलिक रशीद साहब के साथ उनका भाइयों जैसा रिश्ता है। हमें इनके साथ, इस मरकजी मुस्लिम लीग को हम अपनी दूसरी जमात समझते हैं और हम समझते हैं कि ये लोग पाकिस्तान की खिदमत करने वाले लोग हैं।
Now, in the context of the admissions, this comment now coming in, Tilak Deveshwar, I'd like your reading of the news that's come in today.
Arnab, thank you. Before I come to this particular point, you raise a very fundamental issue.
Yes, sir.
I have never in my experience seen Pakistan admitting to being hit, especially by India. Never.
Never.
They will always obfuscate, they will hide.
Avoid.
They will use every trick in the book to make sure that their people don't know that India has hit them even more than what India is claiming. It is extremely fishy. There is much more to it that why this admission has been done. So I think we need to, I would rather wait for the Indian Air Force to come out and say that this is a false claim, we never did it, or we did it, and whatever. I would go by the clarification that the Indian Air Force makes. Second, I think the important point here also could be, I think it was mentioned in passing by the two generals here, a lot of people are questioning why has Munir become Field Marshal and why the PAF chief has not become Marshal of the Air Force. Because if it was basically an air battle, he should have got it, got the credit for it. So what does Munir do? He tries to pull down the Air Force by saying, look, the Air Force air defense was not able to protect Pakistan at a crucial time of war. 22 of our places were hit, thereby bringing down the PAF a notch. Not notch, several notches. Possible. I'm just speculating on this. Now, coming to this politician's speech, you know, there's proof after proof after proof in this last 1 month that Pakistan is a terror state, a terror supporting state. When the officials, constitutional officials, like this is the Speaker of the Punjab Assembly, it's a constitutional post. He is saying openly, and his party is in power in Punjab and at the center. He's saying openly, there's Kasuri Saab. He's saying openly, Talla Saab. And that family has deep relationship with them and, you know, all that kind of junk that he spoke. Now, if the international community, if the FATF and others don't take this on board, then either they are blind or there is a deliberate motive in allowing the terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan to continue. In either case, the message to us is that we have to deal with this terror menace like we did on the 7th, taking out their camps. Next time around, if there are 21 camps, finish all the 21 camps. We have to do this ourselves. We should not depend on the international community or the FATF or anything else. The message to us, at least to me, is very, very clear.
Arnab, I'll just chip in something. See, we got to realize that during the Kargil, this was fought on hills. The common public had no knowledge.
No.
Borders pe people died, Pakistanis, they don't acknowledge. When they sent in 1996 proper army generals and everything to support Talibani to fight against the alliance in Afghanistan, they lost large number of people, but the Pakistani people didn't know. Here, when an airfield is struck by your missiles at night, the whole town gets up. You think the town didn't know? When the missile strikes, when it has struck something,
you can't hide it.
You can't hide it. So people in these towns have heard disaster coming to their doorstep. So the population knows now whom to hide from. So in these circumstances, I feel that speak one language. Initially, they spoke a language of denial, and that's why I'm saying that we should not be talking anymore on this subject. Our people should be just saying, we don't need to talk.
We don't need to talk. We need to
talk about him. Let's talk about him only. No, let's not talk. I mean, we should talk about him.
No, but
so now there are internal conflicts. Whether you say Air Force versus Army, whether you say polity versus Army, polity versus Air Force. Now these are internal dynamics of Pakistan which are being played. And at the same time, ISI has sent generals with these delegations to America, to England, to Russia, to all that, and they are nowhere in the news. They are putting false propaganda.
I'd say I'm also always looking from our perspective. I go back to General Bakshi. I'll get you in next, Deepakji. We need to be very careful now, I think, General Bakshi, because see, we have, whether we like it or not, a stronger internally Asif Munir in Pakistan, who has more say. And we have just shown a soundbite which shows the influence that Hafiz Saeed and his party has. Hafiz Saeed is being hit. His brother-in-law was killed by unknown gunmen, Maulana Kashif Ali. Syed Khalid Raza of the Islamic State Khorasan province also killed by unknown people. Hanzla Adnan, mastermind of the attack on the BSF convoy in Udhampur, killed by unknown people. And then the man who said, I'm going to balkanize India, Maulana Abdul Aziz, he has been found dead under mysterious and unknown circumstances, killed by unknown people in Bahawalpur. So the point is, General Bakshi, let's put 2 and 2 together. Terrorists will remain terrorists. And Asif Munir will want to test India's resolve that when we have said that an act of terror will be an act of war, this man needs to feed the war machine. And therefore, we have to be prepared to hit and hit differently the next time. So we have to be in a greater sense of being alert as a nation, prepared for potential acts of terrorism and prepared to fight the enemy at short notice and deal a huge blow. So I think everything has changed, hasn't it, General Bakshi? We'd have to pre-Pahalgam, pre-Operation Sindoor, and now is a totally different situation. Militarily, internally, for us as a people, as a country, General Bakshi?
Absolutely, Arnab. These Lashkar-e-Taiba is being mainstreamed as a political party. Don't get the shock of your lives if Hafiz Saeed ends up as the Prime Minister of Pakistan, man. It's well on the cards. The way they are integrating with the way a Lieutenant General, 3-star Lieutenant General, attended the funerals of some of these terrorists, globally designated terrorists.
Yeah.
The mainstreaming of terror in Pakistan is as well underway. And I would not be surprised if at the political helm of affairs, we find Hafiz Saeed or some similar person from the cartoon networks. So you are in for troubled times. If these are going to be the political elite of Pakistan, then we are heading for trouble, and we should well be prepared. The trouble will be to them. That's number one. If they are admitting to 22 sites being hit all over Pakistan, they are candidly admitting to the fact that the Indian Air Force had air superiority over the entire airspace of Pakistan. As it is, foreign analysts
but
are
next
telling
time,
us that they had
next time, General
much of
Bakshi,
the airspace in the eastern side of Pakistan.
But next time, General Pannu, we won't be dealing with Pakistan alone. We'll be dealing with the triad, Pakistan, Turkey, Azerbaijan, and China behind them. There's been open collaboration. In fact, Operation Sindoor has brought them together. And they're very openly together militarily. So, does that make the possibility of another terrorist strike or another war situation more likely or less likely?
No, Arnab, we better jack up
Pakistan and China, of course.
Yes, General Pannu.
Arnab, as has been read between Pakistan and China, they have some kind of a symphony that they play together. When you are talking about the air defense systems going down, I think the air defense systems were very hurriedly cobbled up together with the Chinese experts and Chinese operators. Pakistani officers and the military could not handle them. I suspect even some of the aircrafts could have been flown by the Chinese pilots.
Okay.
The Chinese have not fought a war with their own equipment. They have developed a very huge military-industrial complex, but they have not tested any of their equipment. They have always tried to find some place or the other where they could field equipment which could be put to test. With the Pakistani body bags and the Chinese hardware, I think this was a great combination that they could achieve. Pakistan is an interesting nation because it is also not only a terrorist, but I think there is also underworld here. A lot of underworld does parallel economy work where a lot of cash flows through the drugs and a lot of stuff comes which is unaccounted. You can't even mention from where certain things are coming and could well be from United States of America because there is also a deal, underhand deal, which is going on with some cash or some bitcoins or cryptocurrency.
With people close to Trump and
so when you're looking
we
at
heard about that, yeah.
So what I'm saying is that if India has to prepare for the next war, we have to build a deterrence so that India does not get attacked. And deterrence is not only building capability, but it's also demonstrating capability. Some amount of capability has been demonstrated. let's assume that all those 22 targets were actually stuck by India.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Chinese air defense system collapsed, and it would not have collapsed on its own. It was actually brought down by the Indian Air Force and the systems that we have in place. If you recall, in Gulf War I, the Americans actually first attacked the air defense systems of Iraq completely, and they had full air superiority, and then they had complete air dominance of that area. With air defense systems going off, the complete air dominance is achievable. As a result, if 22 targets have got stuck, if they have, and they have felt it and it's got reported, obviously there was no air defense there, and air defense, from the Chinese perspective, they would have gathered data. Now, let me give credit to something which I'm sure must be happening that we don't know. That is the Chinese now gathering the data of how it happened, who did what, and what they need to do next. This is a laboratory of China with the manpower of the Pakistanis, that they would sit together and work out the next way how the military-industrial complex of the Pakistan and China put together would go back to the drawing board, to the R&D, to work it out how to get back to India. But I think on the other side, I think it is also a data that India has collected on how the Chinese have worked, how their equipment has worked, and how the indigenization that India has been up to, we have achieved quite a reasonable amount of superiority with the Indian equipment. And I think even India would go back to certain amount of research and development, certain amount of reconfiguring of our defensive systems and make it more superior. And it is easier for India to make it superior because we don't have to go to different countries, because a lot of stuff is being done internally in India. And I think India has today a capability that while fighting a war, we can reconfigure. While fighting a war, we can very, very quickly come back with our own industry, which is in support of us. You know, there are a number of industries, and I'm not going to name the research and development, which is now a lot has become private. I think India will have to, and as General Bakshi was saying, you give them defense budget and then deliver the equipment. If they don't get the money, how would they deliver the equipment?
Yes.
And I think we don't have to really reveal it to the outside world what India would do, but I think India would do well.
So when you say all this, I want to play one soundbite, then I go to Tilak Deveshwar, come back to you via Deepak ji. See, then there is one soundbite which happened in the middle of Operation Sindoor when Khwaja Yusuf said, we do the dirty work for the Americans. He was talking to, I think, a British journalist. Saying, yes, we do dirty work. We do dirty work. Who says we do dirty work? Now it seems to me that he was signaling that I'm willing to do dirty work for anyone. We are a country that does dirty work. Let's play that soundbite. And I want to come back to Tilak ji on that here, please. Full frame.
Well, we have been doing this dirty work for the United States for about 3 decades, and West, including Britain. And we suffered for that. Well, we have been doing this dirty work for the United States for about 3 decades, and West, including Britain. And we suffered for that.
Now, therefore, now, we've been doing dirty work. We have been hit in 22 places, right? And it's all very well connected. This statement is made a few days after Pahalgam when they're very scared that we are about to hit them. They're looking for partners. They're looking for active support, and they're signaling to the Americans, we're willing to do a dirty work for you again. They were leveraging, and that's what the Pakistanis are good at, selling themselves as a nation. Tilak Deveshwar, if we are now connecting the dots, how do you read that?
No, see what Khwaja Asif said and what Bilawal Bhutto said, that Pakistan has a past.
Yes.
It's well known, it's well documented. They came out into the open because, as you rightly said, they were panicking. They were looking to get attention, support, or whatever from them. But it didn't surprise me at all. What surprised me was that these fellows don't know what to say or what not to say in an interview. So that was a surprising thing. But the fact of the matter is that Pakistan has been and will continue to be a terrorist state. The Punjab Assembly bite that you played out clearly demonstrate that it is not giving up on terror. And therefore, we have to be on our guard, and we have to tackle this totally on our own.
Totally on
We
our
cannot
own.
depend on anybody else.
Totally. Especially not Deepak Vora, America. How do you view America's position so far? I mean, we are also battling them at the WTO on trade issues, on steel. So we are in conflict there. Should we push them hard or give in to a trade deal? What's good from a strategic perspective?
From a strategic...
We will need partners.
Of course. And America, whatever you might say, whatever you might think of Donald Trump, he still represents the most powerful country in the world.
But is he dependable?
Not at all. But on the other hand, our brand equity in America is very deep. He will not be able to cause too much of damage. He's trying, but at the moment he's being torpedoed.
I'm told his family has a deal.
Sir, I mean, 30 million, 40 million, I don't think he's particularly into. He'll dump them when it serves his interest. He's a transactional friend. He's not a friend you can depend. He's a chap who'll see what is in it for me today and I'll do it. I just wanted to say what Mr. Devesh was talking about Pakistan, the mindset, sir. Of course, your channel gives us the most brilliant analysis news. I've tried to understand this mindset. Till 2011, sir, their per capita was more than mine. Now the gap between them and us is increasing. There is a compulsive hostility born out of hatred. You can do what you feel like. Their mindset is not going to change. They are born to trouble us. And the Chinese encourage them. The Islamic People's Republic of China, which loves the Uyghurs, is encouraging them to do what they can to contain India. When I travel to Africa, and they look at me and I say, I'm from Asia. The first thing they'll tell you, sir, when you say Asia, is China and India. Nobody will say Pakistan. They never heard of it. Yeah. So then their fellows go around saying, take a bomb in one hand and a begging bowl in the other and try. Yeah. So their relevance to the world is as a nuisance power.
Well, absolutely.
Arnab, I'll quickly add something.
So 5 seconds.
5 seconds. See, Arnab, they had the best air defense system is HQ-9 of China, right? HQ-9 of China is a poor copy of S-300, or people should know. And it is poor copy of S-300 of Russia. It cannot check supersonic BrahMos of India. You must understand, BrahMos can penetrate any defenses of Pakistan at any time at will.
Which also
this is the most important factor we should remember.
We need to work closer with the Russians. I mean, that's quite clear to all of us.
Absolutely.
I think this has been very interesting. I still haven't got a full answer as to why they have scored the self-goal. But if you watch this discussion, you roll back, you'll probably find a lot of content on that. General Bakshi, General Dayal, Tilak Deveshwar, Deepak Vora, and General Pannu, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the big story today. I recap the two stories. Pakistan admits 22 targets were hit, and we indicate that their nuclear storage facilities could have been hit, if not targeted. Big news. See you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप